Welcome back. You're live on Sports Extravaganza. Every Saturday, you can be assured and sure that indeed this is the place to be. 4 to 7, we give you the best in the world of sports because it's your show. You speak to us the way you want. That's how we run this place. It's not about me speaking to you. It's about you talking to us, sharing into our conversation. My name is Tony Kwalanda. Again, I am not alone, of course. I've released my three other colleagues, Celine, Tabitha, and Joseph, to stretch and warm up and release the energy for Olympics because wako na vitu mingi nataka tu wapumue kidogo watulie. But if you're joining us, we have a question of the day, and you know, I give airtime, and I'm just waiting for my tablet. I understand ilikuwa imecrash sababu mmetuma messages mingi. So I'll be sending you airtime to your numbers on WhatsApp. But of course, I want you to send me a 20-second video clip answering my very simple question. And we are asking you this. Hey, what message do you have for the Team Kenya Olympics squad that is, of course, in Paris ahead of the 26th kickoff this particular month? What message do you have? Share a 20-second WhatsApp video. End up place in a sauti, reduce the volume of your TV. Then, of course, share a short message, 20 seconds. What message do you have? Or any message, and you stand a chance of winning yourself. Ntatuma, I will scratch. I have a coin, and I have this. Na scratch tu, na kutumia. Ivo tu rahisi. Hii coin niliomba floor manager hapa ndani amesema ati nimrudishie. Kuli hata sumuni. Of course, start sending in. I understand a lot of WhatsApp messages have come through. Let's take a listen to some of them.
My name is Bernard. What I can tell our athletes there is it always seems impossible until it's done. Your speed doesn't matter. Forward is forward. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. Thank you.
Hello, Sports Extravaganza. Ni Walter hapa. And what I would like to tell Team Kenya is that I'm wishing them all the best and let them bring home the gold.
Sports Extravaganza here, George from Nakuru, and my message to the Kenyan team, Team Kenya, representing us at the Olympics 2024 this year will be very simple. It doesn't matter whether you're playing rugby, athletics, volleyball, fencing, swimming, you know, name them. My message will be very clear. Just put God first. Ekeni Mungu mbele, maombi kila saa, because it's not easy, by the way. From the trials all the way up there, it's never that easy. To the rugby players, it's never that easy being called up to represent the country. So my message will be very clear. So just believe in God and just take each match at a time. Whether it's rugby, you know, volleyball, athletics, just take each activity as a time. Stay disciplined, stay focused. Hearing that national anthem being played will be making us proud. So yeah, and a special big up by there to my friend Makumi, by the way. Peace.
Actually, Kenya and France, we've been winning. We have our ground to stay for Olympics, and therefore, when they're going there, they should also learn how to win more. Actually, kusema kwamba wakienda kulala wasifanye hivyo, wa benchmark. Now that we know in Kenya we win, especially in terms of athletics, now they have to prove it, and then thanks.
Tony, the selection for athletics, Team Kenya was well selected, was transparent, and I believe the team we have is the best of the best. What I can urge our team is that to go out and make us proud. They promised to get not less than 8 gold medals. I believe they can make it, and I can just what I can do is just pray for them to do well.
Hello TV47, mimi naitwa Mike, niko side za Kayole. Na wish Team Kenya ile inaenda huko Olympics Paris all the best maze, watu make proud. Kina Omanyala, kina huyo Julius Yego, kina Faith Kipiegon. We wish all the best. Tunawaaminia, tunajua mtaleta hizo magold.
Yes, bwana Tony Kwalanda, ni Joshua kutoka upande ya Kikuyu Town. Kijana ya Kindu Bay Idala mta. Gen Z, kijana Gen Z hapa. Tuesday kwanza, before tuongea, unasema Tuesday. Alafu naambia watu wetu ambao wako huko Paris, majamaa Team Kenya siku zote. Team Kenya siku zote tunawasupport, tuko nyuma yetu. tuko nyuma yenyu bana, msikuje mkono bure bwana, mkuje na kakitu jamaa, tuko nyuma yenyu timu Kenya. Tony kwa Landa, safi.
Hi TV47 Sports Extravaganza, this is Tunasi Mgenge, ukipenda mwalimu wa Tommy Falp, watching the show. Kitu nataka kuambia wa Kenya, wale wanariadha ambao wanaenda huko wakilishe Kenya vizuri, wakimbie, maana hiyo ndio kazi yao, wanachezea baji ya Kenya, lakini sometime viongozi humesana kucheza na doza hao watu. So umesikia Selina akisema labda wamechagua Chinese kutranslate ya Julius Yego, atasikia that's why Julius Yego atafail pale wapo kama hana the right person. Watching the show, I love the show, my fans ambao wanaoche TV47, muendelee ku keep TV47, and by the way congratulations kwa award ambayo mlishinda. This is Tunalisi Mgenge, ukipenda mwalimu wa Tommy Falp, big up wase.
I'm Faith from Kawa West, Nairobi. Hi Tom Kolanda. Mimi Kenya ningependa kuambia timu Kenya, tunawaombea sana, tunawapenda, tunajua wanaenda kutuwakilisha na tunajua watafanya mambo makuu sana juu Kenya inakuanga kiboko yao. Tunajua wanaenda kutuwakilisha vizuri na watatuletea zawadi na yani watafanya tutaonekana kabisa. Only that, I love you all.
We love you too. This is Sports Extravaganza. Really, thank you very much for sending it. Keep on sending them. I can see my own, of course, tablet is showing the thousands, the hundreds of messages and videos. Yes. Send. Tuma. We have space, airtime. Tuko na kila kitu. And of course, I will be awarding you. Nimeanza, I'm starting to scratch one by one. I'm doing it. Hapa ni mambo live. Vivid. Kuna form 13A. Hapa ndo tunafanya tallying. Mimi ndio presiding officer, returning national officer. Of course, welcome back to Extravaganza. Let's just get into it. Of course, remember we had earlier on speaking about the Olympics. We were speaking about Maria Branlena. We were speaking about Julius Yego as well as Omanyala. Now, right now is we shift gears a little bit in a sport that we don't have a team in Olympics, that is basketball. And as we speak right now at around 5 p.m., actually it should be starting right now, the Kenya Basketball Premier League finals are underway at Nyayo National Stadium. KPA na Thunder wanacheza kutafuta mshindi, lakini we don't have any people at the Olympics. Why? And that's the reason why NBA Africa and the French Development Agency have decided to go back to the roots, to the grassroots, to find a solution. 2 brand new, refurbished outdoor basketball courts were unveiled yesterday at the Kenya Academy of Sports in Kasarani. Of course, together with, I remember I saw the Permanent Secretary of Sports, Engineer Peter Toom. I also saw the French Ambassador to Kenya, His Excellency Arnaud Souré, and of course, a host of other top dignitaries. And that's what we have in this studio today, this particular time. Forgive me if I say it wrongly, but Lauren, you'll forgive me. I have, of course, Lauren. How do you say your second name, Lauren?
Meme.
Lauren Meme. Gen Z, have you heard Lauren Meme? I don't want to say anything. He is the program manager of the French Development Agency, or AFD. And also we have the country director of NBA Africa, if I've said it, Michael Finley. Karibu sana, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yesterday there was this big event. Why under 16 boys and girls? Let me start with, of course, Lauren. Why under 16 boys and girls, and why Kasarani?
Why under 16? At the French Development Agency, we believe in sport for all.
Yes.
And this program is gonna improve access to sport for both girls and boys, especially the youth. So there's a special target group that we want to focus on. It is running in schools. Again, why under 16? So it's primary and secondary schools. That's a special category that we want to focus on now, so that we can expose the little at this age to the game, and also other socio-educational programs that are gonna be carried out in the schools.
Oh, indeed. And Michael, in Kenya, we are good in basketball, but we're just good in Nairobi, in our local towns. And this is a good way really now to really start solving this problem as to why we're not in the Olympics?
Sure. Yeah. Look, thanks for having us.
Karibu sana.
Santi. Look, you were asking about why under 16
Yes.
and why Kasarani. I think you have the Kenya Academy of Sport at Kasarani, which is where you have your academy program, your national academy program.
Yes.
And so the NBA, we signed an agreement with the CS back in September. He, along with President Ruto, they visited our offices in New York, and we signed an MOU. And the three things we agreed to address in that MOU, or to work with the Kenyan government and Kenyan corporates to address, was getting the game back into the school system so young people have more opportunities to play. Elite player development, so identifying your players early, elite players when they're young. And then facilities, right? And so not necessarily that we would build all the facilities, but that we would help motivate the building of facilities. And so this really kind of ticks all three of those boxes. Why we go under 16? As you said, Kenya has a long history of basketball. And as the NBA, we decided to come here. The question is, why is Kenya not dominating, or at least featuring in the under 16, under 18 categories when there's so much basketball being played? And what we realized, and I've done a lot of work in Kenya basketball over the years, what we realized is that we got to get down to the grassroots. We got to identify the talent before they're 15, 16, 17 years old, because at that stage, as you know, you said you're a former player, you either got to be 7 feet or big or extremely athletic. So we got to get the fundamentals instituted at the early age, and we got to identify the best players in Kenya, when they're young, so that we can help get them into streams and get them developed and get them better coaching, so that Kenya can start to get back to dominating in those categories, which Kenya used to do back in, I want to say, like the 80s. Yeah.
Indeed. And Lauren, this program, Basketball Experience, is also in Morocco and Nigeria, if I'm not wrong. Why these three countries? Of course, through the Africa, the AFD.
Good question. So, 4 countries in Africa, 2 French-speaking countries, 2 English-speaking countries. Kenya being one of the most successful countries in sport, with no question becomes an automatic selection to be part of the program. So yes, started in Morocco, 2020. Then rolled out in Nigeria. That's the other. Morocco is French-speaking. Yes. Nigeria, the other English-speaking country. Senegal is in the process of launch, and now we are launching in Kenya. Very happy with the pace at which it has taken to launch in Kenya. Last year we started discussions for the Kenya program in November, and when the NBA was launching the office here in Kenya, at the same time, we were again looking at how we can expand our collaboration with the NBA in Kenya. And we are very happy that a few months after, the program has launched in Nairobi. It is going to be focused in Nairobi for now, in this phase, because the program runs for 2.5 years until September 2026. I don't know if you want me to tell deep dive about the content of the program.
Yes, a bit of it.
So it's 50 to 70 schools in Nairobi County. We are aiming to touch about 25,000 to 30,000 kids in these schools. It's a mix of both private, public, and informal kind of schools. So it's creating that cohesion between the different backgrounds of these kids, because we believe that sport should also create cohesion amongst these kids. They learn from each other. There's going to be 20 coaches, 10 women, 10 men. Again, we believe in gender. Sport is a tool to achieve gender equality for us at AFD, and it was deliberate that we have to strike a balance between those coaches. Again, these coaches are going to be trained by the NBA in collaboration with a local CSO that we have identified to assist us run the program in Kenya. That's the Kenya Red Cross Society. And again, in partnership with a communication agency that is going to help us during the events management. There's going to be once a week clinic in schools, 1.5 hours. So during the co-curricular activity period after classes.
Yes.
It's free for all the kids, expose them to the game. Again, during these sessions, every week is also to conduct those socio-educational life skills that the Kenya Red Cross is going to develop with the Kenyan context.
Yes.
And then once a year, there's going to be a final game at the Kenya Academy of Sports in the beautiful courts that were launched yesterday.
Yes.
So we plan to have 2 of that this year. Maybe not, because the time has, the school calendar is just is ending. But next year for sure, in 2026, we're going to have that final game. And this is now where the teams from the schools come to compete. And the best schools get some prizes, the coaches. And again, a good thing, Tony, about the program is also exposing those coaches to training from NBA. NBA is going to collaborate with the Kenya Red Cross to offer them, they are coaches, they are trained coaches, but again, that expertise from NBA is very important in the program. And that is why AFD, we are not sports experts, that's why we partner with NBA because that's their expertise, that's what they are strong at.
Yes.
And we come together, we have put in the same kind of level of financing. It's a program that is worth $10 million in those 10 countries, 5 million from AFD, 5 million from the NBA.
And that's big.
Yes.
Michael, those numbers, looking at those numbers, that's a serious investment.
Yeah.
And of course, he's mentioned, Lauren has mentioned about what the coaches will be doing, which days, what time, maybe the nitty-gritty. And I've heard, of course, you've mentioned it's going to be free, access free. Maybe explain that, because most people from Kasarani, when they hear free, trust me, they'll come there in their numbers. However, there are those kind of limitations, or how you just manage those kind of numbers. How is that going to work? Put me, for example, we are starting next week. How is that program going to be? How can children from Kasarani or from these other places?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think when you bring the name, the NBA out, you don't want it to just be everybody just come and it's not structured. So we're going through the schools. We've identified a group of schools that we're working with, and we will pull students, players from those schools. And so we're working with, like, as he mentioned, the Kenya Red Cross and the Kenya Basketball Federation. So what we do is work with them to identify coaches, work with the schools, and then we also liaise with the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association because we have an MOU with the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Sport. So that's really how it will be structured. We go through the school system to make sure there is structure. And then on the days, obviously when these camps are being held, we got to figure out ways that kids from the community of Kasarani that are going to be able to come and participate in some of those programs. So, but the great thing about it is that independent of this program, that court is there for the community of Kasarani. And we expect those kids to be able to play there week in and week out. What we're doing with AFD is targeted, big numbers, but it's targeted via the schools.
Indeed. And Lauren, of course, just maybe to add on what Michael has mentioned, I'm just asking a question for someone who is maybe above 20, when the kids are not playing, can we keep the court busy? The community in Kasarani, can we come with a basketball? Sorry, this is a football, and then we can play.
Definitely. Actually, one of the criteria of selecting Kenya Academy of Sports was specifically for this reason. Kenya Academy of Sport is the other partner that is in this triangle that we have, AFD, NBA, Kenya Academy of Sport, is that they are going to design a program. Yes. Or now they can let the community, you've got it totally right, yes. The schools around Kasarani area, can they have access to this court? Definitely, yes. The schools need to coordinate with the Kenya Academy of Sports. Kenya Academy of Sports does programs during school breaks. It's perfect again for them they have a facility there, they have hostels, they can host kids even from outside Nairobi. The program is targeting Nairobi, but during off school season, they can use the court to expand the reach
Yes.
to the rest of the community.
And of course, Michael, being the country director for NBA, some of us love the NBA very much. We sleep at 3 a.m. Kenyan time watching those beautiful games of LeBron and the rest. In future, shall we be having those exchange sport programs whereby the one who emerges the top in those finals that we be having for this particular camp or program, basketball experience, can go and meet Steph Curry, can go meet LeBron James, can go meet other African top or European sort of, because those I'm sure will be good prizes for our under 16.
Yeah, look, so I guess locally, we just held a watch party for the 4th game of the finals, where Boston was playing Dallas, and we set up a beautiful setup at Skate City, and we had people come. The game started at 3:30 in the morning, and then we had hundreds of people there, even up to the end of the 3rd quarter, because the game wasn't that great. So we're going to have those local experiences. We have the NBA, we have the Basketball Africa League, right? So my big push is that we got to get a Kenyan team to qualify for that. So that's an African NBA experience. And anybody that's been there, we had the finals in Kigali. They have a 10,000 seat arena. If you've been to any of the cities, and if you've ever been to an NBA game, it's an NBA experience. It's African teams competing. So there's opportunities for that. And then we've got partnerships that we're looking at launching in the country. We've just announced a partnership with Safaricom. And so one of the things that we try and do with our partners is open it up so that Kenyans can get a chance to win a trip to go to Madison Square Garden or go to the NBA All-Star Game and watch as a courtesy of a partner. And so those things, they are coming. But I would say that, everybody's like thinking about the U.S., but we have the Basketball Africa League. And it's an NBA experience on the continent. So those things are already there and more to come.
Indeed, true.
Yeah.
Lauren, maybe Kenya, we have a challenge in terms of coaching, or a challenge in terms of scouting, or a challenge in terms of nurturing our talent. As AFD, is this a long-term venture you're getting into? Are we going to see AFD from 2024 to when I'll be having white hair all over my head?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Oh.
So AFD has started intervening in sport in 2019. It's a new area for us. We are scratching the surface, but we have done quite a lot. Currently, we're working with both governments and the civil society associations in partnership with partners, valuable partners that like the NBA and the FIFA, to mention. Yes, we have done a study in Kenya, 4 countries again in Africa. Kenya was again part of this study to identify areas of intervention, and capacity building is a key pillar of intervention for AFD. So it's to build the capacity of the sport ecosystem, other than developing community infrastructure, is build this skill, support civil society and entrepreneurs in sport. And the 4th one is to support government policy for better outcomes in sport.
Indeed. And I know, just before I let you go, Michael, Celine and Tabitha, they love basketball very much.
Okay.
They support some of the big teams. One of them, of course, supports Thunder. The other one, I don't know which team they support. Celine and Kwapa, I don't know which team support. Yeah, Thunder. So, Michael, they will need to know, we have a lot of talent. NBA does not think we are tall enough?
First of all, that misconception is all over the continent. One of the best players in the NBA is Steph Curry. He's one of the shortest players in the NBA. So that idea that you got to be tall to play the game, it's an advantage. Okay. But yeah, so that's the first thing I think. And it's funny because I'm actually supposed to be. This is why I'm dressed like this.
You're headed straight to Nyayo.
I'm headed straight to Nyayo for the final. I can't say who I think will win or want to win, but yeah, I think Thunder are up 2-0, and they got 1 game left. Yes. So I think, look, we made an investment here. Like, it's not like we just came and we want to kind of feel our way around. Like, we've got 5 offices on the continent. South Africa, we've got Egypt, Nigeria, we've got the BAL office in Senegal, and Kenya. And this is our sort of end of our current expansion plan, but Kenya was a critical market for us to be in. And I tell people all the time, like, you know, it's funny, everything that's going on with the youth, and I love to talk about this. I'm fascinated by it because it's a microcosm of what I see in basketball. Kenyan youth are working harder in basketball than people are working anywhere on this continent. You guys have leagues everywhere. We're going, the first division championship just finished. We got the championship now. You got 2 women's divisions. Yes. You got a street league with 40-something teams in it. You got Kakamega, you got Mombasa, you got leagues everywhere. And so there's no, I argue this, there's no country on this continent where young people are working harder at the game than in Kenya. And so we see it as a big opportunity to come and sort of be able to sort of adjust some of the levers, maybe help with a little bit of the structure, get some corporates to come into the game, and I think the game will take off here. And one thing I wanted to correct you guys on, you do have a team in the Olympics. You don't have a 5-on-5 team, but you got a women's 3-on-3 team, yes. And those sisters are bad. Like, you got Medina Okot, okay? She's got a full scholarship offer to Mississippi State University. And that's in the SEC, that's no joke. So she's the best player on the team. They got big expectations there, and they're a legit squad. So you do have a basketball team in the Olympics. And you got 2 young ladies. We got Basketball Without Borders program that's happening in Johannesburg in 2 weeks, August 3rd to the 6th. That's for the 30 best boys and 30 best girls that we find across the whole continent. Yeah. You got 2 Kenyan young ladies that are coming down for that camp. All expenses paid, and people go from that camp to universities, to high schools and colleges in the United States. 2 of the young men that went to that camp 12 years ago, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam. Joel Embiid was the best player in the world last year, and he was a little skinny kid at that camp. So you got 2 Kenyan females, high school players going down to that camp in a couple of weeks. So Kenya is man, it's a gold mine for basketball, and having played, it really is, and I'm excited about being here, and I think we're going to be able to help turn this hopefully into an industry with jobs and teams and et cetera in the long run.
Yeah, Gen Z, you had it. Basketball is becoming the new engine to give you an opportunity to be who you are, play, get exposed, exchange programs. You never know where basketball can lead you. This is where basketball led me. I couldn't jump anymore due to my 95 kilograms of weight on myself. But of course, Michael Finley, thank you very much for making time. From NBA Africa, the country director. Lauren Meme, thank you so much. From AFD, or the French Development Agency, program manager. Of course, they come to speak about the basketball experience program that was launched yesterday at Kasarani at the Kenya Academy of Sports. Here in the capital, Nairobi, where under 16 boys and girls will definitely start their take-off journey towards stardom. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for making time. Thank you so much again. And the entire team, next time please come with His Excellency Arnaud. I've hosted him here before. Of course, he was supporting football, now he's in basketball, but I'm very happy there's that the French agency is really involved in sports into that. That's very big. And yeah, thank you for making our boys and girls shine. And Michael Finley, keep on making Kenya a gold mine for basketball, and see, of course, more of the people in these top leagues as well as in those top countries. Asante sana. Remember, if you're joining us, this is Sports Extravaganza. My name is Tony Kwalanda. I was having of Michael and Lauren here from the Basketball Experience. Thank you so much, the entire team from Basketball Experience. I know Maureen is here. Asante sana, wherever you are. Thank you for making us famous on your big gadget. So yeah, put us on social media, we'll be very happy. Of course, Pogia and the entire team, Ndugu Abai, thank you so much for making this possible. So we are going to take a very short break, but remember, we're answering a very simple question. If you are joining us right now, we have a very simple question asking you, what message do you have for the Olympics Team Kenya squad that is in Paris? And you stand a chance of yourself winning yourself airtime free of charge. I'll be starting to give you airtime starting in the next few minutes. After this break, win our Tano wanapata airtime.